Muhammad, first of all, I'm frustrated with your inability to understand me, and your way of communicating by cutting my sentences and replying to them instead of finishing the paragraph, then replying. Sorry to hear that. However, I appreciate your dedication and use of time. Well, Muhammad said 1 hour seeking knowledge is better than 70 years of prayer. Unfortunately, I won't be able to address everything due to the fact that I'm using my laptop, which I hate to use for writing. Well, when you fix it, please reply. You are one of the smartest Muslims I've ever met. I think you are better at jihad of the pen than Nelly Akbar. It's just not practical, and I'm not used to it for writing. Well, when you get good at it, please reply. I only use it for browsing internet. The reason I cannot use my laptop is that we are having many in-laws from Italy as guests for 2 weeks, and they are occupying the guest room, which is next to my office. Therefore, at night, I cannot use the desktop. Of course, during the day, I have a job to attend to. Ditto. Anyway, I will address as much as I can quickly, and hopefully I will get back to this message after 2 weeks. If I forget, please remind me. Will do. I send this to you today just for the heck of it. Then send it. I'll send this to you today. Then just for the heck of it, send it back to you in 2 weeks to remind you. First of all, you said that I'm free to use the same method of interjecting. No, I don't like it, and I'm not against it. No, I don't like it, and I am against it, and the fact that it's okay for you that I use it doesn't make it okay for me that you use it. Therefore, I would really appreciate if you just answer my messages paragraph by paragraph. Would you like me to do both? I could have your paragraphs in whole and add something at the bottom, and I could do what I'm doing right now. How about if I do both? The fact that you give me permission to cut and paste doesn't make it okay that you do it. College professors do it all the time. It's like adding comments. But thanks to the miracle of word processing, it makes it so you can respond in kind to your college teacher adding a comment to her comment. I don't use this. You need to. It would show the one who gave his paper to you that you are following his thoughts and nothing is ignored. Or you can call him on it for ignoring it. I don't manipulate people's words and cut and paste out of context. Good, I don't either. If you see what I'm doing, you can read only your words and see your whole speech in the order you wrote it. It's not my nature to do this, and it's not right to do this. But why is it not right? I don't do things that are wrong to serve my purpose. Well, that's good, but why is this wrong that I'm doing right now? Please feel free to interject a response now under this. It's not my purpose, and my religion doesn't allow me to do so. What Quranic scripture or hadithic saying tells you not to add comments to someone's words in the hopes you will find something else? Remember, quote, 1 hour of seeking knowledge is better than 70 years of prayer, unquote. You keep using the sentence, quote, married slaves, unquote. Yet I told you 100 times it doesn't mention married slaves, but it is just your assumption. It's only my assumption because of the way the Quran is written by putting the word, quote, except, unquote, after mentioning, quote, married women, unquote. If that word, quote, except, unquote, wasn't there, and instead there was a period, man, well, it would greatly help your argument. It seems you are trying to make the, quote, clear signs handed down from your Lord, unquote, not clear. Not clear at all. By the way, I'm going to cut and paste the same scriptures from the 3 verses of the Quran at the end of this, and I'd like you to add your comments to them the way I did with them. That way you can show me how they really are supposed to sound, okay? Please take your time due to your being busy. The quote and unquote is translated by Yusuf Ali as quote also unquote, which is the same thing. So what you're saying is Yusuf Ali has it right, but Pixel and Chuck here have it wrong? If you read 424, Yusuf Ali, it should say quote, also prohibit are women already married, except those whom your right hand possess. Right, but how is that not the same thing? Please note, quote, also, please note that prohibited, unquote, is in parentheses, which means that it's an addition by Yusuf Ali. And please note the comma between already married and except. Sounds like you do know how it's supposed to sound. If so, please cut and paste the scripture, that is Yusuf Ali, you agree with, and put how it's really supposed to sound in English. I'm not a scholar in translating. I'm not the scholar to translate the Quran. But you sound like you know how it's supposed to really sound. But I will attempt to give you a simple translation, the way I see it from Arabic to English. Finally. Maybe my simple translation will make it clear to you. Okay. I'll start with 422. And do not marry whom your father marries of women except what happened in the past. Don't worry, I'll explain this to you after I'm done translating. Okay. It was shameful and odious and abominable custom indeed. Unless she's dead. Past, unquote. Before I continue to 422, let me explain what is meant by except what happened in the past. What it's meant is that before Islam, the Arabs used to marry the wives of their fathers, if their fathers died. And you might know, the Arabs before Islam used to have no limit to how many wives they can have. So many used to have tens of hundreds of wives to make many children from them, and when their father died, the male children used to marry their father's wives. Of course this is an indecent act, and Islam can make it clear, but this is indecent. So it is sex then. But don't double negatives create a positive? It says don't marry, ... except what happened in the past. Could you make clear the signs more clear? Could you make the clear signs more clear here, please? No, the Quran is saying that this act is forbidden, and if you do this, it will be a sin. But if you did that before Islam, in the past, before this law came with Islam, then God will not punish you for something that you didn't know. Are you sure? Well, that would seem to make more sense. Is it clear now? So it is clear for you now? If that's what that means, then yes, that makes it clear. I'll go back to translating. Verse 423. Forbidden to you to marry your mothers and daughters and sisters and aunts. It gives a list which is the same like in Yusuf Ali. So there is no need to translate. What? I thought you were using Yusuf Ali. I jump to 424. And the fortress, married of women, except what your right hand possess. So it does say that. Well, what's the difference? It means here that the use of the word fortress instead of married is to emphasize that when women is married to when a woman is married to someone else, she is like a fortress, which is a sign of inaccessibility. Right. But notice there is no period. So when except comes in, it sounds like you can have sex, quote, marriage, unquote, with married slave women, quote, what your right hand possess. I don't see how anything changes here. Are you sure you're translating it right? A place that you cannot enter or access, and this is what I meant when I said it's a beautiful use of word. Right. It's beautiful that you can't have sex with married women. Notice though how you are completely blind to quote accept those whom your right hand possess, meaning that married slave women you can have sex with. Quote marry unquote with. It needs a period, not an accept. That accept that, quote, except, unquote, destroys your argument completely. How can it not? I was reading the genius of choice of words, which can be appreciated even more if you read it in Arabic and you know Arabic. So you do know Arabic, yet you can't translate into English. Does that make sense? I mean, forget any translation in English here. Put how it's supposed to really sound in translation, because really there is an, quote, except, unquote, and not a period after, quote, forbidden to you are married women. Do you see how it needs a period right after, quote, married women, unquote?